What's up everybody, it's Brian Wilkerson here from MA-Motorsports, and today I'm going to show you a quick install of ALARIA Tech's latest product, the Cat Hump Delete Panel. Check it out. Cold rolled steel, CNC cut and bent, and what it does is helps to lower the seating position in your car. And this is a common thing to do in the Nissan S chassis, and normally you have to fabricate one by hand and it's time consuming. In this case, we decided to make one that's pre-cut and bent. All you have to do is cut your car out and weld it in. This is an S13. This is already cut. This particular car is going to get a whole custom trans tunnel made to fit a larger gearbox. So I'm only going to just tack this panel in as an example, just to show you how it's supposed to fit up. It's important to be mindful of where you make the cuts. So I suggest that you start here on the actual hump, and you don't want to cut into your transmission mount. When you are making that front cut along the trans cross member mount, it might not be a bad idea to cut it from under the car. That way you know you're not cutting into the trans mount. We cut about a ½ inch from this hump right here. Then you want to trace the hump part of the cut where it tapers down here. You're going to make the cut where it hits the flat, and just follow that around to here, cut straight up, and then you kind of just eye up this uppercut. Next thing you'll want to do is sit the panel in the car and then trace where you have to clean it to get your welds. Got a mark there, so now I know where to clean. That's going to be my mating edge. So this front hump here is really where you want to start with your fit up. You want to get this radius shape to match and get rid of as many gaps as you can by tack welding this on once you get it fitting real nice like this. Once you've got this seam fit up, you know, every car is going to be a little different. You might need to tap something here and there, and then we're going to move on to the rest of it. From here, you start tacking these down, but first, you look back here, you're wondering how you're going to get this big gap to close up. Well, it's just going to take some force. Make sure you cut all of the cat hump lip out. Right here we have a little lip, and that's going to stop us from being able to push this panel all the way down. You can either push down yourself or have your friend push down here. You really want to apply pressure to this back corner, close the gap up as much as you can. You'll see that you're touching here, so you're going to want to get a couple spot welds here, 1 or 2 around this bend, and then along here as well, get a couple where it's nice and flat. So we've got this seam here on the floor of the car all dialed in except for a couple little places here, and in this case you're going to want to get underneath of the car and just tap the sheet metal up here to mate it before you give it a final weld. But you could also close this gap a little bit from also tapping from the trans tunnel side. Next up, and that's the final seam, is this one. We essentially just push this up to close the gaps as we go. So that's it. Start at one side here and work your way across, having somebody on the other side if possible to push, or you can like wedge something up against the inside of the tunnel as well, and that'll just help kind of support the thin sheet metal, and then you can push on this side with a pry bar or something as you go. So the seam in here, we usually fully weld the entire seam on the inside of the car. Then the seam on the underside of the car, you can either use seam sealer or panel bond or whatever you're familiar with using. So that's it, right? Pretty simple installation. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them in the comments, or always shoot us an email or a phone call. We'd be happy to help you. Be sure to check out the ALARIA Tech website for other innovative products, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.